Hey there, superstars. It is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer, and coach from Live, Love, Give. And I am coming to you today really excited to deliver this message to you guys because it feels like forever. I've had a few things going on in my life with my beautiful granny who has taken ill, and I've been kind of going backwards and forwards and staying with her and taking her different places, to the doctors and things like that. So I have had a crazy week, and right on the back end of coming out of that NLP event. So I have so much in store to share with you guys, and I had to pick one thing now to just roll with. So today I wanted to deliver a message to you guys all around what you take personally, and the title, that's why today's title is all about the fact that everything that you take personally is a construct that needs to be destructed. Okay, and why do we want to do that? I'm going to give you some examples from my own life when I kind of came up with this a few days ago, and I want to just reiterate, why do we even want to be able to destruct parts of the things that we take personally, right? So the ultimate outcome here is to be free, is to be able to communicate with anybody in your external world and not feel like you're at the effect of them, right? You can feel as though you're in total control of your own emotional state, and instead of being triggered by other people and taking things personally, I'm going to give you a mindset to take on board that is ultimately going to help you to master your own emotions and to use any of those triggers to convert the feeling of how painful and bad they are to actually this is shining light on an area for growth. What does growth mean? My freedom, my fulfillment, reaching a new height of my potential. So that's what it's all about. All right, so let me dive into this and give you a working example from my own life, okay? So what actually happened a few days ago was that I was having a conversation with somebody very special in my life, and they have more of a tendency to be a little passive aggressive, and when I say passive aggressive, I mean they tend to withdraw and don't talk directly about the problem that they might be having, and tend to assume and tend to hold back, right? Okay, we've all done it, right? We've all been passive aggressive, but generally what happens is in any of our relationship dynamics, we tend to have more of a passive aggressive person who tends to withdraw when they're triggered or they're taking things personally, and they tend to attract and have a balanced relationship with more of an aggressor, more of somebody who's going to fight back, who's going to maybe get angry, who's going to voice it and be direct about the problem, or at least communicate what they feel, even if it is through anger and not through hurt, and they're trying to hold that. But at the end of the day, we've got a withdrawer and we've got an aggressor, and that's what tends to happen in all relationship dynamics. We can absolutely transcend this, by the way, and all of you guys in the masterclasses who know all about the drama triangle, you guys have got these skills, but let's talk more general today. So what happened was I was having this conversation, and I noticed this about this person in my life. I noticed that they did a couple of things that were out of the norm, and I noticed that it was more passive aggressive in their way of dealing with it at the moment, at that time. So I didn't take it personally because I was taking a bit of a meta perspective on the relationship. And personally, generally when we take things really personally, it's because it's triggering something that we know we're not doing right, or different parts of our identity that I want to really make the focus of today's message. But at this time, I kind of gathered what they were getting passive aggressive about, and I knew my perspective, and I knew it just took a conversation and some curiosity, and we'd be beyond that. So I didn't it was a good one, right? I didn't take it personally, but not to say I don't at times take things personally, right? But so we were able to have a conversation. I was able to bring it up to them, and they said, yeah, this is what was going on for me. Yeah, they admitted it. It takes a lot of courage to admit how we're operating, and they admitted it, and they spoke to me their perspective of what they thought I'd done or not done, and I was able to say, well, actually, this is where I was coming from, right? And so we were able to see each other's perspectives and then get over it, right? But it triggered this whole beautiful conversation of growth and depth in our connection, because we were able to see, our patterns of behavior that the lack of communication can create a challenging dynamic in the relationship that, left unchecked, could make or break the dynamic, right? So we don't want that. We want to go to the depths of our connections and our relationships. So what we were able to talk about, because we've both been studying NLP, it was amazing because we were able to see that, anytime you take something personally or anytime you have a resistance towards somebody, it's because they are challenging a part of your identity and you're trying to hold on to your identity. And that's what creates our suffering. We've got this identity of who we are and we don't like that challenged, and we want people to kind of, keep reinforcing our identity. And if they go against that, then we get triggered and we think, how dare they? And, and we want to hold on to it. And we either attack or we withdraw, right? And so instead of getting caught up in the relationship dynamic of, that aggressor and that passive aggressiveness or whatever, what we need to do is realize what's driving it, because we could go all day back and forth about what you should have done, what I should have done, and, this is what it meant to me and this is what it meant to you. We can go back and forth on that all day long. But if we really want to get to the crux of it, we want to lose our identities. All right. Now, this sounds so scary because the ego is our identity. We have put our self-esteem into some persona of who we are, and we identify with those things, and it allows us to fit in and belong and, or even stand out and be different, and we really hold on to that for dear life because deep down below that, we have a fear of not being loved and a fear of not being lovable because we're not good enough, right? So we construct this whole personality and this whole persona so that we can go out there in the world and try and indirectly attain what we're all here to attain, which is, being loved, right? So being not just approved of, but actually being loved. That's at the end of the day, that's at the base, at the foundation. And so the fact of the matter is that identity is attached to and presupposes that we're not good enough as we are. That's why we have to construct this identity. And so that's why we get so triggered when somebody, challenges our identity in some format, right? And what happens is we react to that because we're in survival. We're trying to protect who we think ourselves to be, who we identify as, so that we can ultimately make sure that we're not losing love in our external world and we feel valuable, right? But if we lose that whole perception around our identity making us valuable and actually realize that having an identity in that construct, is actually presupposing that we're not good enough. So we're never going to feel good enough. We're going to be walking throughout our lives always walking on eggshells, always waiting for somebody to discover that we're not good enough as we are. And so we've got to go and get that next thing, achieve that next thing, get that relationship, have that physical body. We've got to do all these different things in order to be valuable. But at the end of the day, what we really want to do to be most empowered, to reach our highest level of our potential, is to deconstruct our entire personality to the point of knowing that we are this being that is no better or worse than the next human being, right? And we don't need all these constructs in order to be worth it. I did I did a Facebook Live for you guys, the last Facebook Live I did about you are worthless. So I want you to go and watch that if you haven't already. It is such a valuable lesson for you guys to learn in terms of deconstructing our personality and showing up as the real us, without all that persona, without all those constructs that are really creating, your suffering, each and every one of us, right? And so I want you to think about whenever you take things personally, it is lighting away shining a light, on a construct of your personality, of your identity that you're holding on to for dear life, because there's part of you that's not believing in your inherent worth. All right, so you definitely need to, you want those people in your life to trigger you on that, right? I just had something happen in my life just a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh, I felt myself getting kind of worked up about it. And then I was like, whew, take a deep breath. What is this like attached to that I've identified on? And I know that anything that I identify with is going to create suffering for me. So I want to be free of my identity. And I got a lot of work to do, just like each and every one of us does, but I intend to be free. And I know the power of deconstructing my identity to the point where I can eventually get to, that complete non-identification with anything external and just being totally in the know of my inherent worth, just like the next human being, right? So it's a journey, and it's not an easy one, and it's one that I feel is probably going to take the rest of our lives, right? But it's a powerful one. And I want you guys to think about, where in your life right now are you maybe disconnecting from certain people in your life because they're triggering to you and they don't feel good to you. And I want you to, instead of being at the effect of them, right, and them affecting how much you feel bad or you feel hurt or whatever, like you and I both know that you're way more empowered than that. You're way more powerful than that. And you've got way more potential to reach without being at the effect of external events. And when you can get the mindset of valuing those moments in time that are uncomfortable, that trigger you, that make you feel like you've taken something personally, and you can look at it as a way of identifying a construct that you've created of your identity that is creating your suffering. Either it's right now in the trigger, but also down the path. You're making all of your decisions based on this identity that is creating suffering. That's not true. So the sooner you can deconstruct it, the sooner you'll be free, the sooner you'll access fulfillment. So welcome those people into your life who ultimately trigger the hell out of you, and instead of handballing them the power over your experience of the world, take it into your hands and identify, what is this part of my identity that needs to be destructed. All right, that's what it's all about. And if you would like personal guidance with that and help and being part of an amazing community of like minds who are all reaching for their next level of their potential, and they want to support and challenge you to reach that as well, then I really do invite you to join the Limitless Potential Academy monthly masterclasses every month, jam-packed with the latest training to help you ultimately reach your highest level of your potential, to deconstruct all of the things that are creating your suffering, to be free of those and to reach for something new, to paint a picture of brilliance that you absolutely have the capacity to reach for and achieve. So if you're interested in that, definitely click on the link above and join us in the monthly masterclasses. And I've got a group coaching session with all of you superstars who are in group coaching as well coming up. It looks like it's going to be Sunday my time, so can't wait to see you guys then. It'll be Saturday evening, I think, probably. We'll work it out. Saturday, Sunday, they're the 2 days. I'll keep a checkout with you guys. And if any of you guys are looking to be part of the group coaching, if you've done the last masterclass all around the introduction to NLP and mastering your mindset, and you want to take things super deep and you want to get my personal guidance and help and be in our close-knit team, then I really invite you to join that now. So reach out to me ASAP so that you don't miss out with that one. All right, so let me check in. Let me know, where in the world are you tuning in from? I would love to hear from you. Have you got any words of wisdom, anything special that you'd love to share in our brilliant community? I'd absolutely love to hear from you now. So who have I got? Nadoon, great to see you. And Brian from New Jersey, always great to have you back. And Alexandria, my spirit sister, Charles is listening as well. Awesome, can't wait to see you guys over the weekend. And Kelly's here, and Christian, and Loki, yay, preaching. And Ram's here as well, and Michael and Peter. And Brian, I wanted you to know how much your recent session on the levels of listening has helped me. Thank you. Oh, I'm so grateful to hear that, Brian. Thanks so much for letting me know. Absolutely lights my heart up when I hear from you guys anything that's been of value to you. So thank you so much, Brian. And yes, I invite all of you guys, if you haven't already, listen to that live that I did, would have been about just over a month ago. Let me know. I'll link it in the comments for you guys, anybody who wants to know all of those brilliant levels of listening, and I'm so grateful that it's already been of help for you, Brian. Thank you so much. And Berry's here, and Gregory, and Vinayak, and Alexandra. Perspective is priceless. You got it, girlfriend. Perspective is everything. You know, your perspective is your entire experience of life. You know, whether you look through these glasses or these ones, you know, it's going to determine what you make things mean. It's going to determine how you feel about it. And it's going to determine, you know, what you're actually going to do about it, and the actions that you take, the decisions you make, everything. I know you're already on top of that, Alexandria, and the amazing Charles as well in NLP in the masterclasses. So awesome. And Avishek is here, and Savula, and Loki. Woo, shout it from the rooftops. You got it. I love that. And Jacinta's here, and John and Ram. Happy Women's Day. Oh yes, absolutely. And wishing all of you brilliant women out there the same. Thanks, Ram. Vanessa, the woman who is an outstanding example of what a woman can do and achieve. Aw, salute you, proud of you, and so fortunate to be connected to you and this group. Oh, Ram, you have absolutely touched my heart and made my day sensational. So thank you so much, Ram. I really appreciate such kind words, and always super grateful to have you join and be part of this amazing community. Thank you, my friend. And Loki, oh my God, approval is ego. Exactly. Love is spiritual. Absolutely. Just realized it. Keep going. Woo. Ah, love that, Loki. Yes, exactly. Because acceptance, you know, and that approval is really like, okay, well, it's conditional, right? And then love is, when we talk love and on a spiritual level, absolutely unconditional. So we don't want to go for approval or acceptance. We want to go for love. That's what we're really there for. And anything less than that is ultimately you still trying to construct an identity that's trying to achieve something that's unattainable while you're operating from that frame of mind. So I love that, Loki. Love your realization. So cool. And Jessica, I've just had a situation recently that I'm looking at now and listening to this, realizing I was passive aggressive. You always have such valuable perspective. Awesome. And thank you. Jessica, you are so welcome. Always great to see you, beautiful. Hope you're doing extraordinarily well. And I love you guys in this community because you're so willing to take responsibility and see what's not working, you know, see your behavior when it's not working for you, and don't identify with your behavior. Your behavior is not you. So you can own up to it and you can choose a better strategy because you want to reach your limitless potential, right? You want to get beyond the pain and suffering. So you've got to be able to look at the system that makes up you and what drives your behavior and know that you are not your behavior. Okay, that's super, super awesome. I love hearing that, Jessica. And yes, passive aggressiveness, we've all done it, all right? So, you know, if any of us say we haven't, we're liars, all right? So this is a big piece. You know, you guys know that the massive part of the work that I do is my love for relationship coaching. You know, it doesn't have to be intimate relationship. It can be your relationship with any other human being. Communication is key. And, you know, talking differences between men and women, this is how we tend to fall out quite a lot. So it's super interesting. I won't talk about it right now, but always let me know what is of interest to you guys. You know what my passion is around communication, around men and women, and around, you know, getting to a place where we've got connection rather than conflict, right? So understanding when we're being passive aggressive or we're just being, you know, completely aggressive, you know, either side of the spectrum, it's never never really conducive to the end result that we're actually after. So I love your honesty and your growth there, Jessica. So cool. And Jürgen's here as well. I'm seeing loads of my NLP guys here. So it's so cool to see you. And Loki, what you're on to is so huge, Vanessa. Oh, I love that, Loki. I mean, like, as a development coach, your perspective and voice are unique and powerful. Oh, Loki, you're touching my heart. Why are you guys so amazing to me? I'm sending you so much love, Loki. I so appreciate that. And it was so much fun to meet you back in our last masterclass and get to see who you are and get to connect and dive deep. So thanks so much for being a part of our amazing Limitless Potential Academy. So much love for you, my friend. And Andre is here as well. So guys, that really is my message for you. I just want you guys to think about the next time you're triggered and taking things personally, look at it instead of what that person's doing wrong and how they should behave and what they should do. Look at them with gratitude, because you are somebody who empowers yourself and you want the light shone on the parts of your identity that you're still attached to, that are creating your pain and suffering, that when you're becoming aware of them, you have the power to change them and deconstruct them so they no longer have a hold on you. Now, that is the pathway to reaching your potential, being full of freedom and fulfillment, and ultimately the only way to live. All right, so if we all get that, next time you're in that environment, you're absolutely going to look at it differently. And I'd invite you to even reflect on the connections that you have right now in your life that maybe you're steering clear of because they trigger you and they annoy you or whatever. Go towards that, look at it, identify what is that thing that you're identifying with and how we're going to deconstruct it. And like I said, if you want to be surrounded by amazing like minds doing the same, who can support and challenge you to reach your next level of your potential, you'd be crazy not to join us in the Limitless Potential Academy. Monthly masterclasses link is up above. All right, Matthew's here as well. I hope that you guys who are catching me now will catch the recording, get a ton of value from today's message. And as always, I'm sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really do hope that it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, and that you're doing something super empowering. And today's message has definitely served you. And shout out to all the beautiful women for International Women's Day. So much love for each and every one of you guys, and thanks so much for joining me live. You are absolute superstars. You're always touching my heart, and you are absolutely the reason why I do what I do. So thank you so much. Sending you guys all of my love, and I'll see you tomorrow.